Those in power only see me as a brute, unfit for higher office. But I follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great and Caesar. I must warn you, I will not lead a second in command. I will win by fire. I am destined for greatness. I found the crown of France in the gutter and placed it atop my own head.
Embark on an epic cinematic journey that unfolds the captivating tale of a military genius's rise to power and tumultuous love affair. This visually stunning film explores the complexities of leadership, ambition, and the personal struggles that shaped a historical icon. Get ready for a gripping narrative and breathtaking visuals that bring to life the checkered journey of a legendary figure. The movie begins in 1789. As a result of the French people's growing dissatisfaction with the social and political situation, the French Revolution got underway. Following King Louis XVI's overthrow, the public's attention was focused on Marie Antoinette, played by Catherine Walker. Marie Antoinette is apprehended in 1793 and given a death by guillotine sentence. As she approaches, the people in the streets throw trash at her, and when she is finally beheaded and her head is held up in victory, everyone applauds. Napoleon Bonaparte, a young and aspirational captain from Corsica, played by Joaquin Phoenix, is observing from the crowd. The reign of terror in France commences with the ascent to power of Maximilien Robespierre, played by Sam Troden. Despite having few resources, Napoleon and his brother Lucien, played by Matthew Needham, meet with revolutionary leader Paul Barras, played by Tahar Rahim, to begin the siege of Toulon. Napoleon devises a plan to invade the village near the harbor. Despite cannon fire striking his horse, he continues on and destroys British forces both on land and at sea by destroying their ships. Later on, Napoleon is made a general. Following his deposition, Robespierre makes an unsuccessful attempt at suicide and then attempts to flee. After receiving a guillotine sentence, the reign of terror ends with the release of almost 41,500 inmates. Napoleon first meets the noble widow Joséphine de Beauharnais, played by Vanessa Kirby, during a dance in the summer. Eugene, played by Benjamin Chivers, Josephine's son, approaches Napoleon with a request from his mother and asks if he may retrieve his late father's sword. Napoleon returns a random sword he had taken and starts courting Joséphine. She tells Napoleon that her ex-husband was put to death. Later, Napoleon is seen shooting royalists who are attempting an uprising and conducting the suppression against them in the streets. Soon, Napoleon and Joséphine get married. Later, during the Battle of the Pyramids, Napoleon sets out to liberate Egypt. Joséphine starts a romance with a soldier named Hippolyte Charles, played by Janis Nywoner, while he is abroad. He learns about the affair and returns home despite being informed that doing so would be viewed as abandonment. As Joséphine returns after a trip away, he goes back and throws all of her stuff outside in the rain. Napoleon, who admits to having had affairs in the past but insists he didn't love the other women, scolds her for her infidelity. In response, Joséphine retorts that Napoleon would be nothing without her. The Directory meets with Napoleon to discuss his departure, but instead he criticizes them for France's inadequate leadership. Emmanuel Joseph Size, played by Julian Reintut, persuades Napoleon to stage a coup so that he may take over as first consul. The present leaders are forced to resign and the coup goes off. Napoleon and Lucien persuade their armies to support them in their fight against the resistance. Later, Napoleon and Joséphine are crowned Emperor and Empress of France, respectively, but Napoleon shocks everyone by taking the crown and wearing it on his own head, appearing to be the country's rescuer. Soon after, Napoleon tries to forge an alliance with the Austrians and England by working with Caulaincourt, played by Ben Miles, and Foreign Minister Talleyrand, played by Paul Rees, but he is turned down. Later, Napoleon yells at the king's messenger before briskly leaving. Napoleon assembles his army at Austerlitz 1 year later to fight the forces of Russia and Austria. While he and his men wait in the woods, he draws them out onto the ice, whereupon he uses the cannons to break through the ice and submerge his foes into the icy water. Later on, Napoleon dines with Austrian Emperor Francis I, played by Miles Jupp, while Tsar Alexander I, played by Edouard Philipponat, declines due to his outrage over the loss of his troops. In addition, Napoleon advises Francis to be happy that he did not destroy his whole army. Napoleon and Joséphine continuously fail to conceive a child, depriving him of an heir. His mother Letizia, played by Sinead Cusack, has him have sex with a young woman to see if he might be the cause of the infertility. Letizia later reports to Napoleon that he impregnated the young woman, so he and Joséphine soon make arrangements to legally divorce. They have their ceremony before a council, where Joséphine hesitates to read her part of the decree, and Napoleon slaps her for it until she finishes. She is sent to live at the Château de Malmaison, where she and Napoleon continue to communicate and send letters to one another. Napoleon goes to see Alexander in an attempt to win over one of his sisters, but Alexander tells that the little sister is too young and the older sister is already engaged. He then marries Duchess Marie-Louise, played by Anna Mon, in order to form an alliance with Austria. A year later, she gives birth to a boy. Napoleon tears up upon seeing his child, and later brings him for Joséphine to meet. Napoleon starts to make plans to invade Russia due to Alexander refusing to join his peace treaty. He leads his troops at the Battle of Borodino, which sees the loss of over 28,000 French troops, but they still come out victorious. When they make their way into Moscow, they find the city completely evacuated. After camping out, Napoleon awakens to find the city set on fire by the Russians. While Napoleon wants to advance to catch up with the Russian army, he is told that they will not last through the winter if they make that journey. The army moves back toward France, with nearly 500,000 men having died along the way. For this, Napoleon is later forced to abdicate his throne and go into exile on the island of Elba. After about 300 days, he departs from the island and makes his way back to France, whereupon he encounters his former soldiers and wins them over to his cause. Napoleon finds out from Josephine's daughter that she died of diphtheria when he goes back to her house. Napoleon sheds tears for his ex-wife. Napoleon builds up his army once more to go against Arthur Wellesley, Duke of Wellington, played by Rupert Everett, and his army at the Battle of Waterloo. A bloody battle begins, and while Napoleon's army gives it their all, the English soldiers overwhelm them. Napoleon is forced to retreat when Prussian Marshal Blücher's forces come after his army, and they surrender. Napoleon still takes a moment to salute Wellesley. Once more, Napoleon is banished, this time to the island of St. Helena. While two girls play nearby, he takes some time to work on his memoirs. Despite what they've been told, he assures them that he was the one who lit Moscow on fire. Napoleon then falls to the ground as he hears Josephine's voice pleading with him to return to her. The ending text states that Napoleon Bonaparte died in 1821. Under his command in over 80 battles, more than 3 million enemy soldiers were killed. His final words were reported to be, "France, Army, Joséphine. Thanks for joining us on this cinematic journey." Today, we delved into a visually stunning and emotionally charged film set in a tumultuous era. Please give a like and share the video. What are your thoughts on the protagonist's journey? Did ambition cloud his judgment, or was it a twist of fate? Drop your theories on the character dynamics below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more deep dives into the world of cinema. Until next time, stay curious.